Hello everybody and welcome to Forever Cricket on Forever Sports. And PROTEAS have just lost the T20 series and the second T20 of the thing to England, just simply because we can't bat. England won by 4 wickets because despite the bowlers' best intentions, we could not put enough runs on the board. The reverse on Friday, where we probably had enough to be competitive and the bowling just wasn't good enough. But this is a much more common problem for South Africa, where the batting continues to let us down. We know that the bowling lineup is very good, and we've got a lineup that can defend a lot of good totals. It fell apart on Friday because one specific individual didn't really perform. But today, you can't put too much blame on the bowlers, except for maybe one bowler. There was only one bowler whose economy was actually more than 7, and that was Lungi Ngidi. He did take 2 wickets, but you know, how can we expect to win matches when we are posting 146? It is not good enough. We had strike rates. We had 3 players with strike rates under 100, of which 3 were batsmen, and had to do well. And I think that's the issue. You cannot. I mean, you look at this. Our highest score was 30. 130. Thanks to George Linder, who continues to operate with the bat. 30, 25, 29. That's it. It is horrific. That is a horror show of a batting performance. And for me, I'm looking at 2 players in Reza Hendricks and Heinrich Klaassen, who have been around the block, who have played, and still do not pitch up consistently enough. And a lot of people are going to go after Temba Bavuma. I understand why, but you look at Temba Bavuma, he has played in his T20s. Today was his 8th T20. He currently averages 36 with the bat. He's got a high score of 49. His innings go at the moment. Sorry, today was a 7th T20. It was 49 against India, 27 against India, 43, 31, 49, 5, 13 against England. Okay? So admittedly, before these two, his lowest score in the T20 international was 27 not out against India. Okay? If we go and look at Reza Hendricks, we are going to look at a 24-match T20 career and an average of 25. High score of 74. And 4 50s and 3 40s. It's not good enough. He is too inconsistent. I mean, you've got here his last couple of innings. If you go back, 16 today, 14, 28, 6. You're going to have to go back to March 2019, where 66 and 65. But for me, he's just not consistent enough. And I think it's an issue where you can't be having Hendricks, Bavuma, Faf, de Kock, and Van der Dussen on the same side. You can't. They are all top order batsmen. And I'm not even going to go after Hendricks too much. I just think that you have to go. You can't be having all of them. You have to choose between one of them. You can't just sit there trying to fit everybody in. We need middle order batsmen. And in terms of middle order batsmen, I struggle to understand why Heinrich Klaassen, with 220 international hundreds and a lot of failures, still makes this side. 13 matches, an average of 24, high score of 69, 271 runs. It's not good enough. You look at over here, and his T20 career goes as follows: 16, 69, 7, 18, 22, 12, 5, 5, 2, 66, 22, 27. He's supposed to be our finisher. It's not good enough. He's had so many chances. How do we have Kyle Verreynne in the squad and not giving him a chance? I don't understand it. You know, and this is my frustration, is that we're sitting there trying to build the side and trying to be more aggressive. Heinrich Klaassen for me is just not been good enough. He's never been able to make the step up properly. He's always had a couple of good innings. You know, you look at the 66 and you remember that 69, which was very good. Apart from that, very average performer for me, and we need less average performers. So Temba Bavuma will become the scapegoat because he's scored a 5 and a 13. And I can understand, that he isn't under pressure, but there are other names in that side who have been there for longer and produced less. Temba Bavuma has 217 runs in 7 matches. Yes, he opens the batting, but Heinrich Klaassen has 271 in 13 matches. Almost double the amount of matches and just 60 more runs. That's what frustrates me. That we're going to look at somebody like Temba Bavuma, who is not in the great nick. I mean, it was strange today because he played a lovely cover drive, looked like it, and then he got bowled. But for me, you've got to look at the middle order. We need to get Klaassen out. And Van der Dussen, for as much as he's been very good, you cannot score 25-29 towards the last stages. Our strike rates were not high enough today. Klaassen got 7 of 10. Faf 11 from 11, and Reza Hendricks 16 of 18. It was not. We were 20 runs too short today. Even 10 runs would have made a big difference. And we can't rely on Quinton de Kock coming off every single time. 30 off 18, decent start. We were off to a good start. And then Hendricks have to struggle to get around. Van der Dussen was rotating the strike, but doing nothing hit. Van der Dussen didn't hit one boundary today. You cannot have a batsman who can't hit one, who can't clear the fence. This is the biggest problem. You've got to look at a Marco Murray. You've got to find players who can clear the boundary. It's power hitting. Thankfully, George Linder comes in and hits a quick 29 of 20. He just can't do anything wrong at the moment. But our batting continues to let us down. Because you look at the bowling, and George Linder, 4 overs, none for 27. An economy of 6.75. Okay? For me, an economy of 6 in a T20, below 7 is fine. I can get behind that. That is fine. Because for me, 130, 140 in a T20 shouldn't be enough. 160 is defendable. Anything below that requires a really good bowling performance. Kagiso Rabada, 3.5 overs, 1 for 25, an economy of 6.52, 9 dot balls. George Linder bowled 10 dot balls. Anruf Nortje, brilliant. I mean, why he was left out in the team in the first place is a massive selection oversight. 4 overs, 9 for 21, an economy of 5.25, 12 dot balls. What a performance by him. And then, Lungi Ngidi was the most expensive. 4 overs, 2 for 51, an economy of 12.75, which is not good enough. And he does take wickets, but he wasn't on the money today. And the problem is, because we don't pick that other all-rounder, we didn't have another option. All our bowlers have to bowl. We need an all-rounder there. Where Heinrich Klaasen is, that is why we are dying for Dwayne Pretorius or Andile Petlakwaya, or somebody who can add a bit more power hitting as well as be able to be a bowling option. Because when Lungi Ngidi went for that, we needed to turn someone else. And we couldn't. And that was the issue. Selection has not been good enough so far this series. And then Tabraiz Shamsi, what a performance. The only reason that game went down to the last over is because Tabraiz Shamsi was brilliant. 4 overs, 3 for 19, 10 dot balls, an economy of 4.75. 4.75 is a fantastic economy in a one day. To do that in a T20, in a match where we had to be so consistent, is fantastic. Why have England won both ODIs? Both T20s so far? Because one batsman has gone and converted. We had Faf du Plessis who got 50, but that was it. We had Bairstow played a match-winning knock on Friday, and then today, David Milan 55 or 40. He was the only one that got about 30 for England. A 26 from Morgan, quick 26, a 22 from Joss Butler. Apart from that, there was nothing. So Quinton de Kock looked like he was going to do that, but we have to have, every single time we play, you have to have a player who, you either have to have lots of contributions or you need one player to take responsibility and go big. And I think today our middle order failed, because when the top order fails, the middle order has to step up. And our top order didn't really pitch in. Faf 11, Reza Hendricks 16, Temba Bavuma 13. But then you've got to look at Van der Dussen, you're 25-29, it's not good enough. He was the third highest scorer, but it's not good enough. It's too slow. And Klaasen 7 of 10. And then we have Rabada coming in instead of, you could have had Dwayne Pretorius coming in at that stage. It's so frustrating that we just don't bat deep enough, or else we don't have the bowling option. And that is a big problem, because you look at England. Chris Jordan walked in, and he can bat. They bat so far down, and they've got more bowling options. Stokes is not even bowling at the moment. You can pick just as a batsman. But England use 6 bowlers, whereas we have to use 5 because we only have 5 people in the team who can bowl. And that is the problem. Is that Mark Bouch was talking about needing a batting all-rounder, and I can understand that. But at the moment we need somebody in the middle there who can clear the boundary and can be a bowling option. And even if Petlakwaya is a bit iffy about if he can make it, you've got to play him, because we have to have someone in that role. We have to have a 6th option as a bowler. You can't just have 5 bowlers, because as we saw, one bowler was offered today, and we lost. And I'm not going to attack the one bowler, because you do have off days. But if he is having an off day, you have to be able to have another option, and we didn't have the option, and that is the major problem. So very frustrated. Already the series is already gone. So now you have to ring some change and give people a chance, and then you have to go after the ODI series. Yes, we expect to lose this series, but it's 2 games where we could have won, both games. Friday we were in the driving seat, and today, thanks to Shamsi, we were really in the game and then threw it away because we didn't have more bowling options. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Do consider subscribing, smash a like as well. Let me know what you think. We go again on Tuesday. Very frustrating, very upset with it, and I think a lot of things need to change selection-wise because it was just another disappointing day in the life of a Proteas fan, and things need to start turning around, or else there are going to be big questions asked about the coaching staff, about the situation, and everything. But let me know what you thought of the game. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll chat to you very soon.